Alrighty, folks. Welcome to today's webinar, and good afternoon, everyone. And just welcome along. We're in a new day, new month, new year, and new decade with the little tag I have here, the little image. To start out, we're going to look at the power of schedules in the MEPPP. My name is Zachery Rico. I'm a technical specialist here at ATG USA. I've worked here roughly since February of 2019. I've done consulting work all around from big to small companies, helping getting Revit kickstarted and getting things going. I've used Revit for nearly a decade now, and I've done a lot of stuff with a lot of different companies on implementing things and getting things going and really pushing the boundary on how companies can get better. And especially with this tool right here, and what we're going to be looking at is extremely amazing. So going into this, the biggest thing that we're going to look at is just overall, understanding the data that we have from the MEPPP in these schedules. We're basically going to see how our schedules hold up. What's in there, what data is in there per se, and then we're going to see, we're going to look at what the schedules are already set with the parameters that are given to us from what CTC has already. And we're going to basically take a look and give that deep dive so we can make sure our schedules are set up in the right way and we can customize it to what we need to for whatever needs to happen. And then at the end, I'll go ahead and take questions and go about it that way. So let's go ahead and dive right on in here into Revit ourselves already. Now, I currently have the MEPPP already open. Automatically, it starts out with this title sheet that's already blank, ready to go and set up. And then I have the sample project right here where it already has some of our mechanical stuff in here. Now, taking a look here at the right-hand side, I'm going to pull out the project browser, and we're just going to take a look at all of the schedules that are currently set up in here. We have tons and tons of different schedules that are just all over the place. We have general ones for what our architects set us, and we can see that. We also have different, phases and spaces and tools along with that in our general, just our general schedules. When we come closer down to the electrical, we can see what we have for our fire alarms. So we have that in case anything needs to be pulled, and we can get that data sent out. And then we can even see our costs and our notes. So whatever we put in there, we can easily set out. And then we have our sheet index as well to make sure we're following what we need to. With our lighting already itself, we already have a couple things that we can go off of. We can have our analysis, we have our devices, we have our fixtures, and we have our notes. This is a big setup for when we want to include all of our light fixtures and make sure we're running on the same path so everything's circuited and we can have that power set up. Now, as we go further down here and into our power and into our conduit and our design and our coordination, we can see all what is going on. We can take a look at our equipment as well, our fixtures, different things like that. We also have our motor list and our calculations with it, and then we can have those notes in there along with everything that we have set up. With our systems, we kind of put it a little bit back, but allows us to still do the things that we need to. We can still see our cable trays and the data that's coming from it and the communication of the devices as well. And we all, as standards, have our notes. But we also have our security and our telecom in there as well to help you guys out, to help on whatever projects that are needed. Now, as we come down to our mechanical, we're definitely taking a look at some of more in-depth as we go further on into this webinar. We're going to look more to see what's going on here, but we can easily see what equipment we have, and we can easily add more to that, to what our standards already have in here. We also have some notes, and we also have some space criteria so we can make sure that we have the correct areas and the correct setups. Our general gives us our details on our notes and more sheet indexes. But when we go and do the HVAC, we can see a little bit more and get more accessories to it. We can see our accessories already. We can see our calculations that we already have, and then we can definitely deep dive into our components and even the designs as well. We can even separate it by equipment and how we want to do that, where if it's an air curtain or an electrical duct coil, we can easily see that. And now this is one of our biggest setups is our equipment for mechanical. It has a lot of data in here that we can pull and update and manage and run through and get it all set up. Now, we also have our GRDs, our load calculations, our modalists, and our notes. So we can see what all is going on. We can even see our sheet indexes to make sure we know what we have. Now, we also have our mechanical piping. This is also a good setup to where we know what all needs to be set up and what all our mechanical equipment needs. We can see, our cooling coils, our heating coils. We can definitely see our boilers and chillers as well. And again, we have all of our equipment here to go through and verify and take notes with, and even adjust our notes as well. And then we go deeper dive into a plumbing situation to where we can see our accessories, our designs, our equipments, and our fixtures. And we can go about it that way. We even have refrigeration in here as well in case we need to add those or set those up at all. So I'm going to go back to the top here, and we're just going to take a quick look at a couple of these schedules from just to see what all data we have in here just for a pre-setup so we can easily pull that starter project in and get rocking and rolling here. So if I just go in and I want to go, say, for our lighting here, and I wanted to see our control device schedule, I can easily see that. I'm going to pull this right over here to the side again, get that all set up. Drag this across. Now, as we go into here, we can easily see that we have no type set up, we have no descriptions, but we can easily see our manufacturers, our catalog numbers, our watts, our volts, and what else we need. And we can even go further down to see the master lighting and see what all we have in here. Now, as I drag this across here, you can easily see that I have a lot of data already in here. I already have my family and type in here, along with its ratings, its apparent loads, input, and its power. As I keep going, I can easily see and get more and more data. We can even have our copyrights in here as well. So if we have a specific manufacturer that we got to call out, we can easily have that in there. As we go further and further down, I can even sort by, costs, and sorting those costs into different areas. I can even get a count of what I have in each specific component or family that I need. And then as we keep looking and looking further on, there's just more and more data that we have from this master shared parameter that has hundreds and hundreds of parameters to help us out, kind of standardize ourselves in this, so we at least can have something we can rely on. Now I'll go ahead and close this one and this one, and we'll go ahead and look further down and go more into our mechanical a little bit and see what all we have in here. Now I'm going to take a look into the HVAC system right here, and I'm going to look at some of our, designs and equipment right now. I'm going to bring in the equipment locations in. And as you can see, I can even specify, what is what and how it is. I even have RIDs in here as well. So if I want to specify specific manufacturers or a specific piece of equipment, I can. I even have what name it is. Does it have any overrides? If so, where, what is that name override and number override as well. And then as we can see here, we can see what space it is in and what space number, it's associated with. Now, as I go further down into the equipment here, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at our VRF fan coil for a second here. My bad. Let's choose a different one here. And let's go into our air coiled condenser. I guess I'm not getting the right ones for this one. I apologize on my behalf for that. But a lot of this data that we already have in here, we can see what all provides just by, that specific piece of equipment. We can see its ID, where the location is. If it has a manufacturer, if we want to edit the manufacturer, we can even easily pick from which one it is. We can even adjust its model number as well to specify what unit we have. And it will automatically already update our model to make sure that we have what we need, that everything is correct. So when we send it out to that architect or send it out on those final drawings, we know it's correct. We know it is set up. We know everything is to a T, and we don't have to have those worries because we have all of this controlled at our fingertips just by these schedules alone. Again, as I keep going down, I can easily adjust all of these, units and all these numbers to make sure I'm getting the correct information and I have that correct information given out to whoever needs it. And as we keep going down, we can see more and more and more. A lot of this is set up to be our control in our own way. We can have that power to be set up when we need it. Alrighty. Now, as I keep going down here, I'm going to get more and more involved. Now, if we go to our load calculations, we'll go by space right now. And we can see that from just this little small detail area, we can see our area of what all square footage we have, how many counts we have it, and by what room name and the volume size of it. So we can even specify more to let our, have our air terminals be set up the correct way. We can have airflow set up to be the correct way and get what's properly needed out of all of this data to make sure we can write everything and have everything set up to what is needed. Now, as I keep going down and going down, there's more and more information, and there's just so much more. Now, I'm going to go ahead and into the plumbing here, and I'm going to go ahead and go into the domestic here. I'm going to go into the circulating pump here just to show you, what all we have. We just have some of this little tidbit of information to see how we want to set everything up. Everything is, as I said before, and keep saying more and more and more, it's all customizable to what we need. This is going to be our standard. This is the push to make sure that we all can be on that same page, to where if we have a consultant come in, they can easily see, all right, I see their schedules. It's very similar to what I have. I can run with it. I can roll with it and not have to worry and ask all those questions and waste those times, as you can see. Now going into more and more in depth, we can even see specifications here from our fixtures and know even more data to what we need and what we have. I can see even more of manufacturers, the material description of what we're using. What kind of finish is it? Are we using a stainless steel, or are we using a specific color for it? And then we can go into more specifications that we can type out and have ready to go. Now, I kind of saved off on our keynotes here for a little bit because these are specially set up. These are set up to be more in depth of how we want to make sure our notes are going everywhere. So we can easily set that up to where it's by a sheet number and with all of our descriptions in here as well. Alrighty. Now this is just some of the basic stuff. Now there's well over 100 schedules that we have in here that we can reference and go by and set up. Now, we're just going to go ahead and start from the scratch our own schedule here and kind of take a look at what we have. So as I go ahead and click this new schedule, I'm going to just go ahead and get this all set up. Now, with all these parameters that we have so many verifications with it. We can easily see that it automatically is set up with the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing already. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just do air terminals just to get this thing going and get it running. Now, I can either set it to existing or new construction. We'll leave that new construction and go about it that way. Now, looking at all of these parameters we can go and all these fields that we can specify, there's so much in here. It's beyond belief what we could have just at our fingertips, just a little taste of what all is its capabilities. So if we go ahead to the top here and we want to see our airflow, we can easily put that in. If we want to go and see what our diffuser lengths or our duct depth is or its height, we can easily bring those in. Now I want to see what the minimum flow is and what our neck size is going to be, and just some other different things in here we can see. Now I want to see type for sure, but so let's go ahead and bring those in. Now I want to see the type at the top. You can easily shove that up to the top here and get rocking and rolling. As I click OK, it's going to go ahead and get this set up for us. Now it's already seeing with the data that we already have from what it is, we can find more in depth of just the general information. Now, as I slide this across, we can see what all we have for our types here. Just by some of the families that are already preset in the MEPPP, there's tons and tons and tons. And I am also seeing its airflow as well. I'm also seeing its diffuser length and more information that I requested out of it. And this is just for it being air terminals. Now, on the plumbing side, let's go ahead and take a look at that as well. Get a new one in here and, take a deeper dive. So now for plumbing, I just want to go through it. I want to see, just the flow of it, the fixture units. If I want to see its identity mark, things like that. As you can see, we have tons and tons of different things in here. Let's go ahead and slide those in and bring that across and get this rocking and rolling. Now, if I see something that I don't like here, where I want to adjust the diameter, I can easily do that just by either selecting it or typing it in and running with it. Okay, so I can easily do that in two different ways. I can easily do it with getting the fixture units and things like that if I really want to take a deeper dive into that parameter and adjust it and get it more set up. Okay. Now going into our last bit of with the electrical, well, we can see where we're going with this. Alrighty here. Now I'll take a quick look here. Let's go with the electrical equipment to start out, and we'll throw in some different aspects of it. So I'll throw in some different elevations here, the family type and name. Let's get some general lighting connected, and let's just throw in the height as well, just for some examples and get this thing rocking and rolling. Alrighty here. As we can see, it automatically still populates our schedules to see what we want and what we have. Now I can easily adjust this and adjust each schedule as I go on as well. So if I really wanted to, and I wanted to, you know, edit it or insert different things, I can. I can also resize it to be more specific, or I can combine parameters as well and bring those in if I want to do a schedule or just project information as well. Alrighty here. Now this is just some of the minor standards that we already have set up and rocking and rolling and getting it through. Now this kind of concludes our little beginner kind of tour into everything at the moment here. Going from that right now, I'll go ahead and let's get these kind of questions going on and what we have. So I already see we have some questions here. The question was, is that a material parameter or a text field? And it can be both depending on how you set it up wise. In the aspect of, yes, it can be a text field, we can edit it, but it's all, we also have that material parameter where it's based off of in reading what we have on there, where it be a specific MEP piece of a specific duct or a specific pipe or different things like that. Oh, so yeah, so he's asking more in depth of the schedules from the MEPP. Is it more a material parameter or a text field? Well, it's kind of still both in its own way. We have parts to where we can edit the text and do and have that field that material parameter as well. So we can have those numbers to where we can have specific text fields and a specific parameter that we can change with it. It's doing both. It's reading both to where we find what we specifically need. Okay, and then for the identity mark versus mark, can you kind of expand on that question a little bit for me on the aspect of, you know, of the identity mark versus mark? With the out of the box parameters, they're a little bit more tougher than what we already have set up in here. We're trying to set up our and help our industry have the standards to be more in tune with each other. Revit is more of an architectural piece of software, or I mean, piece is an architectural database more than it is in our field. So with this tool and with these schedules, this allows us to re-enter that field and allows us to be able to use those Autodesk products and not have to rely on AutoCAD so much. We can easily create our own and have our calculations and everything be correct the way we need it to be and want it to be. With the out of the box, there's not much to it. It's bare boned and there's some of the calculations aren't correct and we have to modify them and manipulate them so much that it becomes a hassle to our BIM managers and just our regular everyday engineers, to where it takes up more of our time. It takes up more of what's going on in our general aspects. So the keynotes, how we have them set up, I'll just go ahead and try to pull up a sheet real quick here. And the question is are the keynotes, are they keynotes or actual keynotes? And how we have it set up is, if I can find a one with it on currently right now. How we have it set up is it's more based off of, hey, we can set this specific keynote to read off of what we have in here on the sheet specifically. And we can easily verify, that. Sorry, I'm a little lost for words today right now. I have a sore throat, but our keynotes are set up to be are just a regular keynote per se, kind of like how AutoCAD is, but we can set it more specifically uh, with this on sheet based and by floor based or by level based specifically. I can't remember on level based specifically, um, and going about it that way. I don't know. So the question is so reading a keynote file, I don't know specifically on that. I would have to take a more deeper dive into it and talk with a couple people to verify on that and go about it that way as well. So I do apologize on not knowing the answer for that one. Alrighty, so if we take, so the question is can we open one and look at the properties of the schedule? So yeah, we can easily go ahead and take a look at one of our mechanical keynotes real quick here. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and take a look at our 121 for a second. Now we already see that our template is set up for the keynotes itself. And it's basically set up to where our appearance for it is outlined. Here we go. It's already set up to be automatic with legends and group and one-liner. Yes. Look at the fields real quick here. We already have it to appear with the sheet number, the keynote number, and keynote description as well. With the filters, the sheet number is equal to what we already have it set up to, so we can specifically the keynote itself. Okay, this one. All right, here. So again, my name is Zachery Rico. You can easily go ahead and contact me at the email address below. I am a technical specialist here at ATG USA. I do work under Don Rasmussen and am still a newer employee that is learning under his footsteps and his wings. So if you do have any questions, you can easily give us a call or visit our website and for more information. I do, again, thank you all for being here. It was lovely for you all to be here and take your time out of your precious day to do a little deep dive into the MEPPP schedules and more information on that. So you all have a wonderful day and have a wonderful evening, and I hope things go better for you. Again, my name is Zachery Rico, and I thank you guys so much.